What's up, everybody? This is Big Russ for Road Tripping RCs, and today doing a little upgrade on the old Traxxas TRX4m Defender. So to start things off, I've got these details. That's the brand. Shock tower mounts. Uh, they're aluminum. They come with the spacers for the shocks, hardware. This was a $35 setup and a details bearing kit. This was 25. The Traxxas is 30. Fast Eddie's, I want to say, is about 25, 30 bucks as well. So I'm gonna get these installed and show you guys the difference between the new stuff and the old stuff. All right, so here's the factory front mount. It has this little cross member brace that goes between the two mounts. It's plastic. Once it's bolted in, it's pretty firm. But here's the new. They say it's aluminum. It's black and gold. So you just slot this side into your frame rail, and now you have 4 mounting positions for your shocks instead of the factory 1. And this is the rear mount. Now the rear has your ESC mounts as part of the bracket. So when you put them on, just remember this goes on the back, the larger of the two, and this one goes on the front. So here's a quick comparison of the rear mount. The original factory one, just plastic. When it's in the frame rails, it's really firm because you've got your chassis mount there and there. So this doesn't flex a lot, but I can tell you this isn't going to flex at all. The frame is still going to be stiff, and yeah, these are actually pretty nice. Not overly fond of, the fake machine work with the gold plate, but you're not going to see it. And even if you look under my truck, all you're going to see is this black side facing out. All right, so here's the stock Bronco chassis. Stock links, stock shocks, stock mounts, everything stock except for the wheels and tires. Okay. See how much lower this truck sits now? Let me get them kind of butt to butt. And before anybody goes, oh, well, what about the rear chassis? Well, you got the ESC sitting here, screwed across, and that's helping strengthen this, just like this is, minus the plastic undercarriage. Okay. I will say I am going to have to play around with this to figure out my perfect setup. Right now I've got them, the front or the rears leaned forward all the way up, and I've got the fronts leaned back all the way up. And I can also just take off the 2 screws on either side and slide these forward as well, because Traxxas was so nice to give us this extra mounting hole to move all of this forward. And as you can see, it's a little easier to see on this one, but I will say that bumper height, mind you, these wheels and tires are the same size. Okay, can you see that? I have oil in these shocks. I have nothing in these. Okay, so that's after I've compressed it. And the Bronco still sits up a little higher. So I'm not saying go out and do this. Like I said, I'm trying to make my Defender a better crawler. And between my high clearance links from Mofo RC, which I think they look great, these new details, hobby details, shock mounts. I'm already getting there. I'm out of the box. This thing loves doing wheelies, loves rolling. It's very rear top heavy. So I'm trying to push that weight lower and forward. And that's what I've got to figure out with my shock setup. I may have to get heavier shock oil than 30 weight. May have to go up to maybe 40, 45. I don't know. I've got a buddy who runs at 90 in his 10 scale. And I'm like, holy shit. That's like maple syrup. But yeah. Sometime this week, I'm installed bearing kit. It's pretty straightforward. These trucks come with bushings from the factory. So they come with bushings from the factory, if you can see that. It's just a solid brass bushing. It's not the best, but remember, this is a $150 truck. So any cost savings they could do, they did. So we could have a good product to start with. Now, I'm not sure how the bearing kit's gonna go. I don't know how big of a difference I'm gonna notice, but I should notice a positive difference in the way the truck performs. It's just for the axles and I believe transmission. So I'm gonna have some fun this week fixing this. And yeah, I'll take you guys along and show you when I get to that step. I may change the tires out on the Defender for the ones off my LCG rig. They're 62 millimeter, so they're really tall, but they're skinny. I know how well the Bronco or the Defender performs. I'm not happy with how my LCG performs with those tires, so I'm thinking just swapping the wheels and tires off the Defender to it and calling it a day. So yeah, keep wheeling, keep wrenching, whatever you do, keep the sticky side down.